filmmakers going to Sundance, you say to plan their distribution ahead of time. What would you have them doing 6 months beforehand, a month beforehand?
Well, 6 months beforehand doesn't exist because you don't actually learn you're in Sundance until, I guess, like 2.5 months before. Right. So I think you learn about Thanksgiving. So you've got about 2 months. Yeah, and it is like a whole production, basically. The moment you get into Sundance, whether you're planning your distribution or not, you have got a whole production on your hands because, there's so many things that you have to do for Sundance. Like, you have to deliver so many different things. In our case with Obsoletia, we hadn't finished the film. So when we got in Sundance, it was sort of like, okay, we better finish the movie. So we better, find some money to do color correction and some money to do the sound mix and so on. So we had all that. So I would say though, for other people, like if you're organized and planning it, and I think like if I was doing it again, like if I was submitting a movie to Sundance and thinking we had something of a shot of getting in and started to think about the distribution, and I think no matter if we were getting in Sundance, I would be planning this whichever festival we were going to premiere at. A couple months. I mean, you want to, as I said, start your campaign from when you start making a movie. Really start connecting an audience, building an audience for it. I think it's absolutely fundamental now. Yeah. And I think then, obviously, immediately beforehand, I would try to find a theater booker to work with. I would hire a publicist to work with. A social media campaigner. It would just be like getting a team of people together to work with. And it's not, I think it's just like making a movie. When you make a film, you get all these different people involved who are really good at their jobs, and you inspire them and help them to achieve it. And I think, it would be the exact same with that model of, distributing. You're not going to do everything. You need to find a team of people. You need to make a budget for that and find a team of people who are going to work with you.
So you have less than a month and a half. Once you get that call or that email, you basically have about a month and a half, is that right, to kind of get your stuff in order?
2 months.
2 months,
And it's over the holidays.
Yeah, it's over
the
holidays.
So there's no chaos, no stress. So, so what would you advise, again, so you'd start finding a publicist, you'd find a theater booker.
The first thing I would suggest is, as soon as you find out, you then find a place, an accommodation where you're going to stay. Because the spike, as the days progress and the weeks progress, the places of accommodation within the Park City area, they go up to an all-time high.
So save money and book early.
So save money, book early. It's just like buying an airline ticket. Save money, book early, right? And get your place locked in. Make sure it's fully paid for. You've got a receipt for it. You've got the keys, the whole thing.
Okay, to go back to distribution stuff.
No. And then from there, you want to make sure that you have your publicist in line, so that you've got that online. You've agreed what she's going to do or he's going to do for you. And then at the same time, you're social media wise, you're really savvy now. You've got your Twitter account, you've got your Facebook account, you've got your social platforms sorted out, and you're really talking about what's happening day to day, hour by hour on Twitter, building that audience and giving the anticipation that something is about to happen real soon.
And I think what I would plan would be to be releasing the film on a streaming service like VHX the day after it premiered at Sundance. So if you're like, the very next day it's available online for the same length of the festival. I would plan it like that first, so it would be like, for the length of the Sundance Festival, you can stream it,
For the same price
that somebody is of a ticket
buying the ticket at the
Sundance.
Festival.
So
and
people...
you're in Iowa and you want to see this movie the day that it premieres at after it premieres at Sundance, you want to see this movie. You're in Iowa, you hit click.
But probably just for a limited time, have the streaming available for the same amount of time as the festival, and really build a campaign to, build audience for the movie through that.
But then after the festival's over, then what platform would you suggest? Or
then I would think, like, to me, if it's gone successful, and by then you'll have sort of like proof of concept in a way, right? After the festival, first of all, you'll have reviews, and if you're at Sundance, you're going to get reviews from Hollywood Reporter and Variety and all the big, so you're going to have reviews. You're going to know how the movie is landing, how it's playing. You're going to see how people are responding to it. And so then you can really plan it from there. And I think you'll have a sense of who your audience is in a whole new way after that.
And then you use that information and you give that to a theater booker.
And start booking
a theater booker.
And start planning a theater.
With that information as a blueprint, you give that to the theater booker and let him look at that and go, or her look at that and go, this is what we got at Sundance, this is what we had. Now, where do you think our audiences would be?
And also, because also from that, like if you've shown the movie on VHX or Vimeo on demand, you also have like the geographics from that. You can see where people have been downloading your movie, for instance. So you can see, you can see, oh my God, all these people in Washington, D.C. wanted to see our film. Great. So give that information to a theater booker, Let's
go to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And retention rates and all that. So,
yeah, absolutely. So I think that's the way. Obviously, we're planning to do this with our next film.
Yeah.
We didn't do this with Obsoletia. As I said, we were in a like completely different head state. So it's gonna, we're sort of like learning all this stuff and looking forward to putting it into practice, but we haven't done it yet.
Sure. Well, it was a different landscape back in 2010.
It was a different landscape.
It's changed
totally
a lot.
Different.
But so it sounds like if you get the call, if you're good to go, get your room, pay for it,
get
the
your
receipt.
Apartment, get your room. In our case, we rented 2 houses.
Oh my gosh! Okay,
yeah.
2 houses.
And we had all the cast and all the crew. Nice. Everybody in the houses.
Okay, so get the place, get your publicist, find your publicist, get that ready, and know that he or she is going to be there with you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also get your online streaming and get that ready and have it.
And I think you can take pre-orders for that now. So you can like set it up on VHX and you could be taking pre-orders from, 2
months out.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then once the festival's done, then find your theater booker.
Yeah.
I would suggest that you do that beforehand too. Like I think bringing together that team, and I don't think you have to wait until you get into Sundance to bring together that team. I would be like reaching out and finding those people before you get the call. So even if you don't get the call, you're going to get the call for another festival, and you've got those people. You know who you're going to work with. And you've got them excited about the film, Yeah. So I would definitely, I wouldn't wait until, after. I would, I think, find those people. It's just like finding your crew. Find the people who are going to be, the ambassadors for this movie.